why you should think twice about plugging into public USB power stations. Have you ever done this at an airport, something like a public place? You plug into a USB.
Only when I'm like desperate for power.
Desperate times call for
desperate
desperate measures.
Do it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I never really gave it much thought. I will say, I feel like I avoided them somehow, but kind of subconsciously. I don't think I ever looked at a USB port and said, I'm not going to use that, but they do typically tend to be near actual wall outlets as well, and then I would just gravitate towards the wall outlet and not think twice about it. But there's some new advice floating around coming from a recent report from the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, which that sounds very official. You should listen to whatever they tell you. Maybe not anything. This story coming to us via travelandleisure.com. When you're traveling and your phone is about to die, most travelers will take a charger wherever they can find it. True. Although that district attorney's office warns against using those USB power charging stations because of something called juice jacking.
Juice jacking.
Sounds so serious. Remember that Tupac movie, Juice? Was that Tupac?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't get juice jacked, Will. Because so far, you took some risks out there. You might have got juice jacked in the past if you've been using these USB ports. So the way that it works, criminals can load malware onto those USB stations. They can replace the USB ports, kind of when no one's looking, with their own version capable of stripping certain data from your device, including personal information, passcodes, possibly financial information, whatever they can get. Or they could take a whole download of your phone in certain circumstances. So it's a scam that takes place, and you would have no idea. You would just collect your phone and not realize that while you thought it was sitting there being charged, it's actually been compromised. So that's concerning for most people. Now, obviously, you've got the option in most cases. I don't know if people are traveling around with just a USB cable instead of the power brick, but most of the time, the power brick would be the advisable way to charge anyways because it's usually going to be faster. And it's certainly going to be faster with these new devices that have some form of quick charge. Or better yet, how about the 65-watt SuperVOOC 2.0 we saw recently? That will be
very impressive.
Offensive to just plug into a tiny little USB port, whatever one's supplied at the airport. You got to carry the power brick with you. I guess there's the advantage of not having to. If you don't have the power brick, you save a little weight, but at the expense of speed and security now.
Right.
So essentially, this is just a little warning here. You want to protect your passwords, bank accounts, and all the rest of it. You're going to want to avoid using your available USB port. This doesn't mean that they're all compromised. Well, it just means that it's just better to be safe than sorry. It's one of those stories. Now you've got your very own story here. What are you showing us?
I was just thinking, that USB adapter that you put on, it's like the same thing for this ATM video here, where a guy literally just puts like an adapter that's where you usually insert your card. And that sends a signal to like a local, nearby computer and kind of shows off like, okay, like the card went in here, here's the number, here's the PIN code.
Yeah.
And it is like, it's card. Just like this device that looks exactly like where you put.
Does he just clip it on, or does he have to remove the old one?
No, he literally just clips it on. Look.
Where he clips it.
But
look, it looks exactly the same as the thing that was underneath it. So it's a
like
shell
the same mold
that goes. Wow, that's wild.
And you can kind of see how like inside there's like circuits.
Yeah.
In that adapter.
Wow. Okay, so you took it to another level now. It's not. Don't just avoid USB ports.
Yeah. This happened in Europe.
Avoid ATMs as well. Man, what can you do out there in the world, Will? Gotta be careful.
Yeah. Can't do nothing nowadays.
You gotta be careful out there. Maybe you gotta tap. I don't know what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Maybe you gotta be tapping things. Alternatively, there's a device called a USB condom, which costs $7 and will allow your device to charge, but it blocks the data flow. But no one's going to carry this thing around. That's insane. I mean, it's cool. Maybe if you consistently have to connect to a public USB connector, then maybe you want to invest $7 in this. But for the typical traveler, I don't think you're going to buy that. You're probably better off just carry your power brick.